Hi everyone, this is Bonnie with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and today I want to show you a fun and easy design. I am calling this the hooded corner to corner baby towel. This is made out of 100% cotton, so it will be absorbent and nice and soft against the baby skin. It is probably an intermediate level design technically, but honestly, I think a beginner could easily attempt this once you understand the basic stitches. I think you can do this one. All right, well, let me go ahead and show you what you're going to need. For this project, I'm going to be using Yarn Bee's Sugar Reel Cotton in the color called Harbor Wish. This is 5 ounces in each cake, or 335 yards. The number of cakes that I'll be using will be listed just across the bottom of your screen. You can also check the video description below for any other additional information you may need. For this project, I recommend that you have a size H or 8 or 5.00 millimeter crochet hook. And as always, I recommend that you have a yarn needle and a pair of sharp scissors handy. To begin, we're going to work a slip knot and a beginning chain of 6 chains. Okay, so once we get those 6 chains, we're going to begin by finding the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are going to work a double crochet into that chain and into the next 2 chains as well. And this completes row 1. Now we're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is to begin row 2. After crocheting those 6 chains, we're going to double crochet again in the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to work 1 stitch there and in 1 in each of the next 2 chains. Just like this. Now this is where you need to pay a little bit of attention. I'm going to take this and flip it up this direction so that the back side of the stitching is showing. And in that chain 3 space, we're going to work a slip stitch as follows. Slip, stitch, and that's without putting the yarn over or anything. Okay, I'm going to back that out so you can see that again, because this may be the first time some of you have ever seen a slip stitch. Insert the hook in, pull up a loop, and then pull that loop through the loop on your hook. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and working in that same chain 3 space, we're going to work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So let's pause and take a look after 2 rows. Notice that the front side of the stitch is showing on row 2. Row 1, the back side of the stitch is showing. Okay, so now we're going to go on to row 3. And every time we go on to the next row, as we are making the blanket wider, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, working in that 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to work double crochets. And then also in the next 2 chains as well. Okay, so this is what we have. Now again, we're going to flip this upward like this, and working in that chain 3 space from the previous row, we're going to work a slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets worked into that same chain 3 space. just like that. Now the next chain 3, or the next stitch here, or cluster, we're going to work a slip stitch into that chain 3 space. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets as well into the same chain 3 space. Okay, so let's pause. So now we have row 1, row 2 with the back side facing, row 3 with the front side facing. And this is how the blanket will grow diagonally. So let's do one more row. And again, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Working in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to double crochet in each of those chains. And you should remember what we did by now. We're going to flip. Okay, so we have this, both sides are facing, and then flip this up, slip stitch into that first chain 3 space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets in the same chain 3 space. Once you understand how to do this, this is a very fun and relaxing way to crochet. Okay, now we're going to go to the next chain 3. Again, you are skipping those 3 double crochets every time you do that. Slip stitch, and again chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets. Okay, now we come to the next stitch, again skipping those 3 double crochets. We've been doing that all along. Slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more double crochets worked right into that chain 3 space. Let's go ahead and stop and take a look after 4 rows. So we have, again, row 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the number, the way the row is numbered, will have that many clusters in it. So now what I want you to do is repeat this, adding a new cluster each row. Look across the bottom of your screen. I will show you how many times you need to repeat, or how many rows that we're going to work this direction until we get to the point when we will start decreasing. Okay? And so go ahead and work those rows, and then I will show you where to go from there. This is what you should have after completing 35 rows. I just love the way this color fades as you go, and it's of course going to be on a diagonal. Now I've decided after 35 rows I am going to turn, and I'm going to start decreasing. This would be on row 36. Now if you want this to be wider, and what you can do is you can determine that by the length of the straight sides. You can certainly work additional rows before you begin your decreases, but I'm going to go ahead and start decreasing at this point, and let me show you how we're going to do this. So this is the end of row 35. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Remember, normally this is where we were going to chain 6 if we're increasing, but since I'm going to decrease, I'm only going to chain 3. And now I have the back side facing. I'm going to go to that first chain 3 and just work a slip stitch, chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and then work 3 double crochets in the same place where the slip stitch was. Okay, now this side here will be flat once we work a few more of these rows. And so after we do that, we're going to go to the next chain 3 with the slip stitch, chain 3, and you know the drill by now. Work 3 double crochets in that space. So go ahead and work this all the way across, and I'll show you how the row ends. I'm now nearing the end of the row and just wanted to show you how to finish this out. Okay, so we're just going to work. This is just the next to the last cluster that I'm working in. Okay, and we're going to slip stitch again to that last cluster. Now we're not going to work the 3 double crochets or the chain 3 there. We are going to chain 3, however. 1, 2, 3, and you can go ahead and turn, and just like we did at the beginning of the other row, we're going to work a slip stitch and then chain 3 and 3 double crochets in that same chain 3 space. So with each additional row that you are working now, you are going to be decreasing a cluster. I'll go ahead and join this to the next one. And again, you just work across the row. And so what will happen is you will start to get a straight edge on this side that will continue to grow. And the other side, let's see where I can find it. Here we go. And this other side as well. So you will end up with a square blanket, or rather towel in this case, since we are making a cotton towel. So go ahead and work that until you have just one cluster like this, until you have just one stitch in the row, or one cluster rather in the row, and then I'll show you where to go from there. So now I want to show you the beautiful colors in this yarn, and it's just so wonderful when the colors change without having to tie a lot of loose ends. Okay, I have one row to finish before this becomes a complete square, and you can see I'm just going to have to, it's time for me to turn the project again. Chain 3, make that slip stitch, another chain 3, and then 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to work a slip stitch. Okay, and now we have completed the square. Let's go ahead and fasten off. Okay, I'm going to cut a generous strand, just like that. And so now we have the main part completed. Now we are going to work the perimeter round, but we're not going to do that until we make the hood portion. So now we need to make the triangle for the hood, and I've gone ahead and made mine to show you what it should look like. And basically what you're going to do is go back to the beginning of the tutorial. I put a little time mark across the bottom where row 1 begins, and we're going to work row 1 through 14. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and once you complete that, I will show you how to connect the hood to the rest of the towel. Alright, so now we're ready to connect the hood to the towel, and this is the larger portion of the towel, and this is the first row we worked, and I'm going to line that up with the first row of the hood. So what I'm going to recommend that you do is line these up cluster by cluster. You can use knit clips if you have them, but it really is not necessary in this case because this lines up so very clearly. All right, so this is the starting point, and you're going to have the clusters. They're going to look the same. So they'll either be double crochets that we're going to work in along the side, or you're going to work in the chain, remainder of that chain. So now we're ready to join the hood to the towel. So let's go ahead and give this a chain 1 on the hood section. And right before this stitch joins, we're going to work a slip stitch right up here. This is right above where that double crochet is. Work a slip stitch and give it a little tug. And so now we're going to work 6 double crochets into this space. Okay, go ahead and give that another chain, and then we're going to work 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now into the center of the next cluster, which is right here, I'm going to work my hook into that chain space, and in the center into that chain space you should have 2 loops from each of these chains on the hook. We're going to work a single crochet and go to the next double crochet and the next double crochet over here. We're going to work 6. Let's try that again. Make sure I get all the strands of this yarn. Okay, going through both stitches, and we're going to work 6 double crochets over these 2 stitches. Okay, and then we go to the next stitch. And basically, we're going to do this all along the hood section. Stick your hook in. It's basically the remainder of that chain. Make sure it's the second. Wait a minute. Let's take a look at the stitch clearly here. So you have 1, 2, 3 stitches. It's the second of those 2, and then a single crochet there. So we're basically going to work this shell pattern all the way around the blanket. But for now, go ahead and work it. Okay, I could really use some knit clips here. Go ahead and work it to the corner. I'll show you how to turn this corner and keep on going around your blanket. So I have worked this across to the corner. This is the very tip of where we are connecting the hood. And so in that corner space, I'm going to have you just work a slip stitch so that is connected. After working that slip stitch, we're going to work a single crochet to join the next cluster group, and then we're going to be working 6 double crochets into the center chain. This is where we are working the double crochets along the other side, but this is just going to keep everything symmetrical. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Just want to show you that it is possible to do this. And then in the next space with those double crochets, we work a single crochet. And so that way the top looks symmetrical. Okay. And let's go ahead and work another grouping of 6 double crochets. And by the way, this is called a shell. In case some of you are new to crochet, a shell stitch. And there are many different ways of working shell stitches, but this is just one where you work 6 double crochets into the same stitch or the same location. Okay, and then single crochet in the next pair of clusters. All right, so go ahead and work that to the next corner, and I'll show you how to turn the next corner. Now, as you're connecting the hood, you're going to come to the last corner here. Go ahead and secure that with a slip stitch, and then we're going to work that single crochet in the next row end, and then just continue onward with your 6 stitches in the next space, etc. So go ahead and continue that, and I'll show you how to turn the next corner. After having worked this to the next corner, and we ended with the single crochet in that space, go ahead and work another single crochet in that corner, and then we're going to work a slip stitch in that next space, and then now we're going to work in the next cluster. Okay, see a slip stitch in the first cluster going the other direction, and then 6 double crochets in the next cluster space. Now some of these are all of these are going to be chain 3s that you're working in along this side. Okay, so we have 6 stitches there, and then again single crochet in the next space, and again they're all going to be chain 3s, and then 6 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. So go ahead and work that all the way until you get to the next corner. The next corner is going to be the same as the last. Go ahead, well, let me go ahead and show you. We've worked that single crochet in the center of those stitches of the 3 double crochets. Go ahead and make another single crochet, and then a slip stitch into the next cluster, and then we go back to our 6 double crochet shells. And single crochet in the next row end. So that way the corners are all going to pretty much look the same. So after that single crochet, go ahead and work another one in the chain. You should be able to get one in there, and this will be kind of the corner. And then we're going to work a slip stitch in that first stitch, and then return to the 6 double crochets in the next space. I'll go ahead and give you a view of what this will look like. Alright, so go ahead and finish this up, and you're only going to have to go part of the side since the hood is connected here. So go ahead and finish the remainder of that row. At the end of the round, we're going to join with a slip stitch to the same place where we created that first slip stitch of the round. Go ahead and give it a chain and a tug, and we're going to cut a generous strand so we can hide the strands within the work, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that right now. We're going to get our yarn needle and thread the yarn into that yarn needle. I like to do these with the back side facing us, so I'm going to go ahead and run this underneath these 2 stitches here, and I like to run these underneath the stitches that are of a similar color. So go ahead and we can run them under all of these blue stitches right here, and honestly that probably will be enough. I'm going to go ahead and cut the strand close to the stitches, but be careful not to cut those beautiful stitches. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hide the remaining loose ends, and then I'll show you what I have. hope you enjoyed making the corner to corner hooded towel with me today. If you did, I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to comment in the comment section below. And as always, God bless.